Hello and welcome to another Total War Warhammer guide. Today we are looking at the special character, the only special character of the Bretonnian army, and also the Damsel, which is basically a wizard, or a witch, however you want to look at it. She's a spellcaster. So, let's have a look. It's King... I murder French names, so I'm just going to murder this one. I don't really know Bretonnian lore. King Louen Leoncoeur. Yeah, we'll go with that. And he is riding his hippogriff. That is a hippogriff. Called Beatrice, something like that. Doesn't matter. It's a big flying birdie thing. Okay, so we're going to look at the stats for both units and the abilities that they have, and then sort of talk about how we would use them in combat. Obviously, you can take King Leon as a on his own, or like as a standard on foot, or you can have him on a horse. But this is the fully upgraded version on his big flying hippogriff. So let's take a look at him first. So he's armoured, and he's armour piercing, and he causes terror, because that is quite terrifying. Armoured will stop more damage, apart from armour piercing damage. He also is armour piercing himself, so he can go after well armoured troops, and he causes terror. Now, the way terror works is the unit can cause terror, making it the target of its melee attacks root for a short time. They're going to run away, basically. Units that cause terror are immune to terror and fear themselves, so you can go against another big unit and it's not going to be afraid, which is quite useful. He's got 3,903 hit points, an armour of 80, leadership of 75, speed spectacular 100, obviously because the flying creature. Melee attack of 48, defense of 40, weapon strength of 450, 160 of that is weapon damage, and then a massive 290 is armor piercing. So he's going to shred through things like Black Orcs or anything that's highly armored. And he also has a fantastic charge bonus of 90. So let's look at his ability. He has a missile resistance of 15%, like all single characters. He causes fear and terror, as we discussed. Because he's a lord, he has that encourage, meaning a boost to leadership of all nearby units. He has the fantastic Bretonnian only Blessing of the Lady, which is a constant buff on himself and any units within 30, any sort of ally units within 30 meters, and gives them plus 12% damage resistance, which is amazing. That's why he's so important to these armies, and same as the Lord has. He also has the Beloved Son of Bretonnia. This is his special ability. It's constant around himself and affects all allies within range, and that range is the entire map. Meaning that all your allies do 8% or plus 8 melee attack, plus 4% charge bonus, and all units are immune to psychology. Absolutely huge if you're facing vampire counts especially. Then we've got the Ladies Champion. It's another constant, cast on himself, and it replenishes the hit points of combatants. So he just doesn't die. Basically, that's kind of how he goes. And then he's got the more standard Empire-y type stuff, which is the Deadly Onslaught ability, giving that charge bonus and armor piercing bonus. Remember, it's 18%, so he already does a crap ton of armor piercing, so that is quite scary. Foe Seeker gives him speed and vigor, and then also the Stand Your Ground, which is really good. Cast on himself, affects him and allies within 40 meters, and gives them a bonus to leadership and melee defense. Very, very good character. Next up we have the Damsel. She may look a little bit plain, but she's a badass. She has a number of spells that she can use. So she starts off with 2,335 or 55 hit points, no armor whatsoever. I think she's just wearing a reinforced booby holder, and she's got leadership of 55, which is pretty low, standard speed, melee attack 34, defense 22, weapon strength 285, 85 of that is armor piercing. She beats people with her pointy stick, I guess, and a charge bonus of 15, but that's not why you bring these into your army, obviously. So she has the standard missile resistance, she can encourage that boost to leadership, she can hide in a forest. She has an Aura of the Lady, which is a constant ward save around herself, so it's her and any units within 30 meters plus 12% magic resistance. So that is really, really good if you're going against a high magic army or lots of units that do magic damage. So let's get on to a sort of more spelly stuff. This one is a constant, and it's called Roiling Skies. Not heard of that before. And it's basically around herself, and it targets... Let me read this. I've not seen this. I don't play much multiplayer because of I play more single player and campaign stuff, so I don't really see Bretonians other than fighting them, and I haven't actually come across her before. So the target is if flying, and it's map wide, so any flying map wide on the entire map is -8 melee defense and -6 missile parry, interestingly, with shield. So that's quite interesting. This is really good for armies that have a lot of flying units, like vampire counts. We can see the way this is sort of building with that immune to psychology with the other character, plus this really sort of helpful against those units. And it's constant, so you don't have to worry about casting it. It's just a cheeky little bonus. Next up, we've got Harmonic Convergence, which is an augment spell that lasts for 19 seconds, cast on an ally unit within 200 meters, and it's a standard boost to melee attack and melee defense, but it is a very good boost. It does cost 6 power to use. I always want to say mana, but we'll say power. Next, we've got Curse of the Midnight Wind, which is a hex, it's an instant one, unlike that build-up that you see of a lot of spells. This is a nice and instant. You can cast it on the ground, or you can cast it on an enemy unit, and it's a 200-meter range, and it affects everybody within 30 meters of that target, and it's basically a standard debuff, melee attack and armor reduction. So combine, if you put that on your unit, the convergence on your unit, and then the midnight wind on the enemy units fighting, it's just going to be blood. I was going to say blood slaughter, but that doesn't even make sense. It's just going to be carnage. That's what it's going to be. Next up, we've got my favourite type of spells, the Bombardment Spells. It's the Comet of Cassandra, which is a bombardment spell that lasts for 7 seconds, 200-meter range. You don't pick a unit. You pick the ground, so you have to be kind of careful positioning it to make sure they don't all wander off. It's very good at casting against big units of troops, and it causes magical damage, and it's got a big old template that does a lot of damage and a large strike area. All good stuff. We then have the Chain Lightning, which is another vortex spell. 21 seconds it lasts for, and it's a little bit shorter range. You cast on the ground, and it has a sort of similar thing. It's basically Chain Lightning, like in a lot of games, works. It just sort of jumps from one guy to another and keeps zapping them all as you go. I'll show you these in a minute so we can get a better idea of what these things look like. Next up, you've got Uranon's Thunderbolt, which is another bombardment. You can't beat a good bombardment, which is another ground spell, 200 meters. It's got a much smaller strike area, but it's does more damage in that smaller strike area. I think I prefer the other one because you have to target the ground, so you have to guess where the units are going to be, and the way spells work in this game, it does give them time to maybe escape, so I'd probably go for the other one, but we'll have a look at that in the fight. Next up, we've got a breath weapon. So this is our only sort of close, this is like last up shit creek without a paddle spell. If they're this close to you, then you've got something to worry about. It's a breath weapon, lasts for 6 seconds. It's only got an 80-meter range. It does magical damage. It expands out from her, so I'll show you it, and it does a lot of damage, but more importantly, it disrupts enemy formation. So if they're about to charge your enemy line, this is a really good spell to use just before they get to you, because they run away like crazy. We'll show you. It's quite funny. And then we've got Arcane Conduit, which is just basically a self-targeted ability that you can use every 45 seconds with a long duration, and it basically just increases the power, so it gives you more spells to cast. Right. Let's have a look at them on the battlefield. We're just going to have a mess around against a couple of orc units, I think I'm going up against. Yeah. It is mobile. If you haven't guessed, they're French. Bretonians are French. Okay. What should we... Oh, decisions. There's so many good bombardment spells. I like it. We'll try that short range one first, I think. So the way you'd use these in battles, obviously, they're relatively simple. I think any sort of big leader character like this should be in your main line fighting. Simple as that. Because they have those bonuses, like the stand your ground, especially when you've got the spearmen at arms and the polearm guys, they basically have quite crap leadership. So you need to keep them in check. With this bonus to leadership and the stand your ground would be really, really useful. We're going to go for... A bit cheeky, but I know also our max range spell. So we'll go for, I think we're going to have to go for just a big fat bombardment. So you can see the range that she's in there. Obviously with spells in the game, they do get unless they're instant cast, they do get notification that it's about to happen, which is really annoying. So we're going to see how we do with this spell. Oh, what was I casting? I've totally forgot what I was casting. Oh, the comet, wasn't I? Yeah. Okay, so she's just getting into range. Obviously, you don't really want to get her into combat at all. She can fight off some weaker troops and hold her own for a little while, but she will go down quite quickly. Her leadership isn't fantastic, so she has to be pretty careful. Whereas, obviously, Leon can just go off and do what he likes. So she's almost there now. She's almost there, ready to cast our crapping hell, Comet of Cassandra. So you'll see the ability appear. So the enemy can see this. They're like, oh shit, shit, shit. So you have to be careful. So they're moving out of range, you see. Wow, that's a fucking amazing spell effect, though. That is, seriously. The goblins just like, yeah, we don't give a shit. Let's go for a different one. We'll cast it sort of a little bit more centrally, just to see how we're getting on. Let's use her booster power as well. There's the chain lightning. Decent bit of damage. Few units down there. As you can see, these are all sort of level 1 spells, but they don't do a massive amount of damage. They've been careful to make sure that magic isn't like too overpowered in the game. Let's get her nice and close. Let's just suicide her in. Right. Let's do some breath weapon. Look at her flapping about. Right. What? Okay. What is it? 80 meters, isn't it? The breath thing. So we're going to let him charge her, and then just right at the last minute, we're going to... Come on, Mr. Goblins. Only one unit, okay. So you can see it here. You cast a point on the ground, and then it goes out afterwards. So we'll try that. Oh, as you can see, the disruption. She's going to get slaughtered now. I love the spell effects. They're absolutely beautiful. But as you can see, that disruption that caused, she's about to die. As you can see, the leadership, her problem is, big problem is leadership, and she's already thinking about running away. Can she do something on us? I mean, God, that's not going to help much, is it, love? Can you get this one out? Can you get this one out before you run away? No, because you're in combat. And there goes the hero in. A bit of slaughter before we finish off the video. As you'd use him like you would any big fighty character. You'd want to keep him near your sort of main lines as well, because he is so powerful that and that boost to leadership is hugely important. Oh, that guy! Did you see that guy get thrown into the air? Obviously, I have got the blood and gore mode on, so he is chopping off heads and biting off people's bits. Has she run away, or is she still? Quickly! She's surrounded. And she will get picked off by goblins. And there we go, guys. There's my mini guides to the characters. I think once that they make the DLC with the DLC, they'll make the Bretonnians playable. I think we'll see another special character, maybe a lesser version of the Damsel, something like that. I think will be really good. But there you go, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Hit that like button if you did. Hit the subscribe button if you're new to the place, and check out all my other Warhammer guides. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.